Let's know how we build online community of learning and ideas for teachers teaching students from home. Remote learning is a new normal. Even as global issues shift and change, remote education will be a permanent option. Through technology, the physical barriers of the classroom are gone. New generations of teachers and students will opt for remote learning. Technology will continue to break the barriers and boundaries of education. Seymour Papert say, you can't teach people everything they need to know. The best you can do is position them where they can find what they need to know when they need to know it. Now, let's know how we set up online classroom. Number 1. Get your at home workspace ready. Creating a designated space for work and online teaching is crucial for educators working from home. Doing so can help them stay productive and focused throughout the day and minimize distractions that may disrupt student learning. Number 2. Open lines of communication are key to a virtual classroom, especially now that face-to-face conversations are limited. By providing accessible and consistent communication, teachers can keep parents and guardians informed on the latest school news or their students' progress. This also lets educators check in on their students and ensure their social and emotional needs are met. Number 3. It's also important to gather feedback from students and their families to identify areas of improvement. With online surveys such as Google Forms and apps like CISO, Kahoot, and Microsoft's Flipgrid, educators can ask questions about students' online classroom experiences. They can also collect valuable data such as what time students are doing their online schoolwork and how long it takes them to complete it, and use that data to adjust how they prepare and deliver their lessons. Setting up a fully virtual classroom is no easy task, especially for educators who are unfamiliar with online tools. But being open to new ways of using technology for learning can bring teachers one step closer to making online learning more accessible, engaging, and effective for all students. Learning from home can be difficult, but it's definitely achievable. Remote learning helps reinforce lifelong skills such as time and energy management, independence, and creative thinking. Next, let's know how we able to have a community of learning. Set expectations and goals for yourself. Create a plan that identifies your learning objectives and goals. Set daily and long-term targets to help you organize and manage your students. Collaboration and connection are vital to our academic success as well as our social emotional well-being. They can occur more naturally in our face-to-face environments, which is why we have to be more intentional about creating the condition for this to happen when we are remote. Prepare well. Look at the curriculum in advance and arrange lessons for the weeks ahead. Opt for content that easily accessible online in a variety of formats. Strategies like using a variety of groupings and having students meet each other during online office hours can help build strong relationships. Check in with your students regularly. This might be a time of struggle for some of your students. Now more than ever, it's essential to have an idea of their emotional and mental states before starting class. It can be a casual 5-minute chat before class officially starts just to gauge where their minds and hearts are. Create a safe learning space for your students. Set time when you and your students can touch base on the lesson you just discussed and help them prepare a question if ever there are areas they need help on. Make use of video conference tools that allow for multiple people to dial in and engage easily with one another. You can also encourage your students to do small group calls among their classmates, where they can support one another and exchange ideas. Student-directed learning instills discipline, creativity, and independence, and in the long run. Set up your workspace at home. Find a comfortable, quiet, and well-lit spot in your house. Creating a conducive atmosphere for teaching translates into a conducive atmosphere for learning for your students. Avoid working from the couch or the bed. When it is time to relax, your brain might find it hard to shut off work thoughts. Achieving widespread change in the early childhood field requires tackling an interrelated set of complex social problems. To solve these problems, the field needs a strong community of learning and practice that will work to identify multiple intervention strategies for different groups of children and families. Create fun activities and quizzes. Check in on your students' learning progress through online methods. Use handy online tools such as forms and worksheets to make activities and quizzes students can easily answer using their device. Over-communicate with your students. With the absence of physical interactions in a remote learning setup, some essential parts of a lesson might not be communicated effectively. Set out your reasonable expectations clearly in all relevant communication channels. Make sure students know exactly where to receive their assignments, submit their work, or ask questions. Listen to and acknowledge children's feelings, including frustrations, using words as well as nonverbal communication techniques. Rather than replicate successful programs in different contexts where they may or may not achieve the same results, learning communities share results and metrics to figure out what works best for whom and why. This approach provides a highly targeted and effective way to achieve impact at scale. Be kind to yourself. Be emotionally open to your students. Tell them that remote teaching is an entirely new thing for you and that you are learning something new each day you are holding a class. Ask them for their help and understanding while assuring them you are doing your best to support their learning journey. Creating a safe space not only for your students but for yourself is an important step to make remote learning successful. It's natural to feel overwhelmed with all things expected from teachers. Start small. Once you pick that up, move to the next step. With kindness, creativity, and courage, teachers can make remote learning a wonderful experience for themselves and the young minds they are molding. Opportunities to play together, collaborate on investigations and projects, and talk with peers and adults enhance children's development and learning and should be available to all children with support as needed. Let's make it happen. Real-time interactions that take place over the internet using integrated agile innovation, tools and application sharing offer a ways to engage students in fully interactive online learning experiences such as lectures, discussions, and tutoring. Important notice. In a learning community, and students often say they found their best friends in the learning community. As a part of a learning community, you'll be with people who share similar interests. Learning community members tend to make friendships that last as they learn, dream, and discover school life together. Students also learn even in the learning community. In times where small instructor lead classrooms tend to be the exception, outstanding learning solutions and offer more collaboration and interaction with experts and peers, as well as a higher success rate than the live alternative. Like document, provide a learning executive, or handbook and association. Thank you, exercise. Prepared by Street Worship. At Japan, our